Hey, Jake. Hope all is well. This is the first chance we're getting to talk to you since a whole lot happened this offseason. So, just first and foremost, what's your overall take on Steve Cohen coming in and all the moves that have been made to set this team up for this season?
Yeah, it's exciting. Looking around at the names in the locker room, it's very exciting, and the amount of depth we have and the players we added, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be really fun, and hopefully go out there and win a World Series.
Do you think that is? I mean, maybe not winning a World Series is the expectation, but do you think the expectation now is significantly raised based on everything that did happen this offseason?
Um, I think if you every year, if you were to go around that our locker room and ask, that was the goal or has been the goal. That's the goal of every team, every player. You play this sport, team sport, and that's the ultimate goal and the ultimate prize. So I think as far as players, that's always the expectation. And, we got a taste of it in 2015. And, now looking at the pieces we've added, definitely want to get back there and win the whole thing.
Hey, Jake, how you doing? Wondering, the Mets were deep in negotiations with Trevor Bauer this offseason. Did you reach out to him at any point to try and recruit him or anything? And just what were your thoughts when he went to Los Angeles?
Honestly, I didn't keep up with it too much. Anybody we could add to help was definitely going to be a plus. I don't think there's really ever been a season where you go through a full season with five pitchers. So any depth and a caliber pitcher of like that definitely would have been a plus. But he decided to go to LA, and that was his choice, and that's part of going to free agency. So he definitely would have been a help here, but we got who we have, and I think we got a pretty good starting rotation.
And when you look back on last season, you were right in that Cy Young mix right until the end. You really think it just came down to maybe one or two starts, and if it's a normal season, maybe it's something different for you?
I like to think it would be something different. I enjoy pitching kind of in the second half, and I think almost every year we've talked about the few starts that I've had and then got to kind of recover from. So I think a couple starts did hurt me, but just to be in the talks for a third straight year is definitely an honor.
Hey Jake, good to see you again. Just kind of going off Puma's question, you said last year you try not to focus on getting that Cy Young three-peat because it just messes with your performance, especially beginning of the year. I'm wondering just what is your approach this year, and have you kind of put that possibility of the Cy Young completely out of your mind?
No, it's definitely a goal of mine. I think I say it every year that the goal for me is to be the best pitcher I can be. And that's going to help us win baseball games. So, you set individual goals. Ultimately, the team goal is to win the World Series. And like I said, the pieces we added, it's going to be a huge plus. And, you still set personal goals. And my goal is to win another Cy Young.
And then just what was your reaction to Matt's going to the Blue Jays? Because I know you guys were good friends on the team.
Yeah, I wished him the best. He's going to go there and be a starter, and I wish him success. He's a good friend, really good friend that, I enjoyed being around, and I guess that's all you can do, wish somebody the best.
Hey, Jake, I promise I won't ask about those few bad starts that you'd want back. There's so much talk with Cohen and, what the Mets are trying to build. There's talk wanting to stick around long term, whether that is Conforto, Lindor. You have an opt-out in your contract. I'm curious if the thought of that ever goes through your mind. And regardless of that, how important it is for you to be a Met for life.
Yeah, I've definitely enjoyed my time here, and signed long term here. Haven't really thought too much about the opt out. The goal is to go out there and perform, and then when that time comes, make that decision. But one thing I do think is really, really, really cool is whenever somebody spends their entire career with one team. You don't see it happen a whole lot anymore. So it's definitely something that I've thought about, and I guess we just have to see when that time comes.
How much did maybe seeing David do that sort of thing have an impact on you and your desire to do something similar?
Yeah, that definitely had an impact on me. And, seeing, um, how well he was treated by Mets fans and being a Met for life and what that was definitely cool and special, being there for the last time he took the field. That was really cool. So, that definitely weighs on your mind, but, that's a decision that will be made when the time comes.
Hey, Jake, did you work on anything different specifically this offseason, or was your routine kind of as normal?
Routine was pretty much as normal. I got on the mound a little bit earlier. I threw some off the mound back home. I normally start coming down here February 1st. I normally throw off the mound February 1st. And I think I started around mid-January, just because last year was shortened. I wanted to get up there and get some more reps in before I came down here.
Marcus Stroman has praised you a lot and has talked about liking to kind of watch your bullpens and sit right behind you. What sorts of things has he picked your brain about?
It's just a discussion of kind of what I'm thinking when I'm throwing a pitch or, what I did on that one. Yesterday he actually had some good feedback for me on, I was messing with my curveball and he's like, hey, that one looked like you kept the same arm speed. So it's just kind of stuff like that. We're around each other a lot, see each other throw all the time. So it always helps when, you half and them do a great job, and Ricky of being able to see what you're doing, but, an extra set of eyes never hurts. So that's kind of what we do, watching each other and being around and kind of studying the game and trying to always improve.
Hi, Jacob. Last year being the weird year that it was, do you think the lower innings total for you personally, and obviously everybody else, will that affect you in any way, good, bad, or neutral?
I don't think so. I think what helps is throwing, 200 the year before. The shortened season, definitely not what everybody wanted, but I continued throwing quite a bit in the offseason, and then, like I said, got on the mound early, and the way I feel right now, and how I felt yesterday getting off the mound here, I think I'll be fine.
Gotcha. And then what made you want to switch agencies, and how did you decide on VC Sports Group?
It was just a decision that I decided to make. It was, I thought about it. I enjoyed my time with CAA, but at that time I felt like it was a time for me to move, and, sat down with those guys over at my new agency, Steve and Ed, and really enjoyed what they had to say. And it just felt like it was the move that I needed to make.
Hey, Jake, good to see you. I'm wondering, given how short last season was, are there specific things you took, could you evaluate that like a normal season at the end of it, looking back on it? Were there certain takeaways you had from it?
You can I evaluate game by game how I felt, and with the data they have now, you can look at every little thing. So normally after a game, I'll kind of see where my release height is, or, what the spin on the ball was. And I've kind of gotten to where I can almost tell them, like, I'll be like, hey, I think I was a little low, or I think, my arm slot was a little high. I think I was pushing the ball a little bit, and then hear the feedback. So I can evaluate some. You wish you had a full sample size to see, but, that's how it happened last year.
And then how much did you miss hitting last year? And do you look forward to getting that chance again?
Yeah, I look forward to hitting. That was kind of, that's how it was when I came up, and how baseball's been for a long time. So this may be the last year we get to do it. So I look forward to doing it again.
Hey, Jake, hope you're well. You said in the past, you set personal goals because when you're at your best, you help the team the most. Is that approach something that you continue to embrace?
Yeah. I think I said that it's definitely a goal to win the Cy Young this year, but the ultimate goal in a team sport is to win the ultimate prize, which is the World Series for our sport. So you set personal goals along the way. And like I said, when you're at your personal best, you're helping the team. So that's definitely still a goal of mine.
And Jake, someone who has hit the pinnacle of the sport individually, how do you continue to motivate? How do you continue to improve?
I just love going out there and competing. every fifth day when I get to take the mound. I really do enjoy it. So that's what I look forward to, and that's what, drives me, and trying to figure out ways to get guys out. And like I said, whenever we're all watching each other, learning from the guys I'm around, and continuing just trying to get better and go out there and compete.
Hey, Jake, I know we mentioned your opt-out, and you're in your 30s now. You're not just starting out anymore. I was wondering, as you look at those kind of factors now, and you're talking about championships, not that the window's closing, but do you feel a little bit more of an urgency as you kind of look ahead? Do you kind of do the math in your head with your own career and what direction the Mets are going in right now?
I try to take it day by day, and do the best I can that day, and then move on to the next one. You never know how long you get to play this game. And like I said before, every time I'm able to put this uniform on, I'm thankful for that. So, I wouldn't say the window's closing. Would hope not. But definitely, like the direction our team's going, and definitely want to win a World Series here in the next couple of years.
I mean, just on that same vein, Jacob, do you feel as optimistic, or maybe even more so, than you ever had coming into a spring training, just based on everything that's happened this past offseason?
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, looking around, we got a great group of players, and it's going to be fun to watch and fun to be a part of.
Oh yeah, Jake. With the news today about the agreement with Taijuan Walker, and with Carrasco on board now, and Lucchesi and Montgomery, some of the other guys who are going to be in camp. How do you evaluate the rotation that's going to be around you? What gets you excited when you think about the other 4 or 5 guys?
I think just, we got a lot of depth. That's always a plus. Like I said, there's never a year where you go with just 5 starters. There's going to be times where you're banged up, you're out 10 days, you need somebody to step in, and the guys who are stepping in are great. So, looking around, we have a really good staff, and I'm getting excited, or am excited to get to know these guys.
Jake, with the reports that the Mets, were offering Bauer $40 million a year plus, I mean, did that bother you at all that they were going to go that high? And do you feel you have to have a conversation maybe with the front office if they were willing to go that high on Bauer?
He waited till free agency, and that's what happened. I signed a deal before free agency. I mean, that would be a discussion to have with my agency, but, I'm happy to be here. I signed the deal and really haven't looked back. Just try to go out there and compete and do the best I can, and then play to the best of my ability.
Thank you.
Jake, you've kind of had an interesting career arc in that you broke in relatively late. You're going to be 33, as Dave mentioned, but you don't have a ton of innings on your arm relative to other pitchers. Just how does your body feel at this point in your career? And realistically, when you look at it, how much longer do you feel like you can be an elite pitcher in this league?
That's something that I haven't really sat down and thought about too often. I honestly feel, let's see, how am I going to say this? I feel almost better than when I first came into the league. I don't know if that's just figuring out my delivery or the way I go about things, a routine. I don't know. I feel, I don't know. It's hard to explain, but I almost feel better than whenever I first came in. I think, first coming up, I was constantly working on my delivery. I think I figured out a routine to try to stay as smooth as I can. And I feel good. So I think I can compete at this level for quite a bit longer.
Fair enough. Thank you.
Yeah, along those lines, you threw harder last year than you had in any season previously. Do you think you can throw that hard or even harder again this year over the course of a full 162?
I think I'll be pretty close.
Fair enough. Thanks.
Thank you.